Hi there, my name's Sarah and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the UK. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to my top tips series, and today we are concentrating on stamping blends, which are these, a whole set of them. In the whole set, if I've counted correctly, there's 39 combos and one colour lifter. So when I say combos, they come in a set of two, so they're alcohol based. And if you can see, so this is Poppy Parade, and I would say, generally speaking, that the base colour Poppy Parade is kind of in the middle. So then you've got a lighter version of it. So that one says Light Poppy Parade, and then that one says, I got it upside down. I know I'd get it upside down. Here we go. So Dark Poppy Parade. So you've got your light and your dark Poppy Parade. Don't know if you can see that. So it is in quite small writing, and then you've got a bullet point end and then a brush end. So you've got a brush end, get a piece of white canvas so you can see that better. So you've got white, your brush end, and then your bullet end, which you can see quite clearly, I think. Right, now as I say, because they're alcohol based, you do have to make sure, I don't know if you heard that click, but you must make sure that you hear that click. You must get the lids on tightly, otherwise they will dry up. And for extra precaution, I keep mine in an airtight container as well, with an airtight lid. So just to cover that, to stop them from drying up. Now the ink, I will tell you that first. The ink that you can use them with are any dye based inks. So this is our Memento Tuxedo Black dye ink, and any of our Stampin' Up colours. So because these are dye based as well, I don't know if it says, oh, that's not probably the best one to go for. Let's pick a darker colour. Yeah, it does say water based dye ink. So if in doubt, just check that it's either water based, or it says water based or dye ink, not alcohol based ink like Stays On, because they don't mix. So in other words, opposites attract basically. So always look for water based dye ink, or either one of them. It might say water based, it may just say dye ink, or the both. But that's what you need to look for when using these. So I think that's covered. I'll show you something with that in a moment. Right, what I'm going to show you first off. Oh yeah, they come in a set of combos and they're £8.50 the set of two. So then you're getting a light and a dark combo. So what I do, I'm just going to show you first, just show you how they blend very easy. They are very easy to use, unlike some alcohol pens that can be a little bit tricky because you have a numbering system or whatever. There's but these are very easy. You've just got your light and your dark, so you know they'll go together. They will actually mix with other colours as well. So say I've got a Bermuda Bay. I've got Bermuda Bay here, but we've got Shaded Spruce. Is it Shaded Spruce? No, it's just Jade. Now they're similar colours, but not exactly the same. So I'll show you how they can mix quite well together as well. Actually, let's show you them first. So this is dark Just Jade. Sorry, dark Bermuda Bay. And then light Bermuda Bay. Use the brush. When you use the brush end, just a very light touch, because you don't want to ruin your nib. You want to keep that nice fine nib tip. So I don't know if you can see it. You can see that. And then what you can do to make it blend a little bit better is just go over, and it kind of blends it in. And if you give that a little bit of drying time, it'll improve as well. But what I say, you could use different colours to. So this is now just dark Just Jade, because they're very similar colours. They actually coordinate quite well together as well. And that's the dark. This is the light. If you just go over, and you can just go over that a little bit. You can see when it dries, it just helps. Going over with the light over the dark just helps to blend it all in. So you can see I've got 4 different colours there, but I'm guessing you can see that they're very close in shades, or they coordinate and mix very well together. So you don't have to stick to your colour families, but if you're unsure, then do just stick to your colour families if you're unsure whether to blend and mix them. But just to show you that you can. Do a little bit more colouring with some different colours, because I'm going to show you the how the colour lifter works. So this is Dark Poppy Parade, which is a lovely red, one of my favourites. Not quite as bright or dark as a bright red. But, so, you have to excuse my dog if you can hear her coughing. She's got to go to the vets today. Bless her, she's not very well. So this is the Light Poppy Parade. And just blend them in. And then we'll go with a Granny Apple Green, which is obviously really different. And yeah, I'll just carry on here. As I say, there's a good range of colours now. They really come in a good range, 39 of our different Stampin' Up colours. So it just does take a little bit of time to dry. You don't get instant results for these. It has an effect sort of a minute or two afterwards. But I hope you can see they've blended quite well. And then we'll go in with a colour lifter. Go in with a nib end. The colour lifter you can use, try and get a straight line, to create your highlights, or just if you want a lighter effect on your projects. And that again takes, you can wipe that on your scrap paper just to get that a little bit clean. When you put it on your projects, the colour lifter, sometimes it can have a purpley kind of hue to it, but don't worry about that. When it dries, that it will lighten up. It's a little bit like how bleach works basically. It just takes a little bit of drying time, a little bit of time to work. But you can see that, how that's lifted some of that colour out. That's what the colour lifter does. And right, also, so it comes, there's a few extra colours like the colour lifter is a separate one on its own. I think, yes, I think the colour lifter, yeah, colour lifter is on its own. These two are sold together, the ivory and the bronze, and basically they're very good for skin tones. So I'm really hoping that they do, Stampin' Up actually do bring out some more. My nib's a little bit bad on this one. I have had this. This is one of my ones right from the beginning, so several years old now. So it's done pretty well. So yeah, but I'm hoping that they will bring out some more skin tones, which would be very nice. So that's your bronze, and so this is your ivory. Also, I find petal pink works quite nice for skin tones if you want a little bit more of a pinky hue. So you could always do it in ivory and then put some petal pink for cheeks or anything like that, or just use petal, depending on what skin tone you want really. They don't obviously mix too well together, but I'm just showing you there how you can go between the two. There's a lot of difference between the light and the dark of those. So I think that gives you the idea. So yeah, just be careful, because obviously they do bleed a little bit. That's what they're designed to do. So when you've got an outline of a stamp, which I'll show you in a minute, just be very careful when you go up to the line, because it can bleed over, and you will see that it does bleed through on the back of your cardstock. So that's another consideration, that either if you've got a card, so if you've got a base layer of card, it shouldn't go onto the back of your project. I've got one here. Here we go. So yeah, if you've got a card, if you're worried about it going onto the back here, I don't think it will, but just in case, just if you want to stamp straight on here and colour in, just slip a bit of paper in and that will stop it from going through. But I've never had it happen to me, but there's always that possibility, so just, you know, just take precautions if you're worried about it. All the colours coordinate all with us, with our Stampin' Up colour range. Obviously they, you know, as I showed you, Poppy Parade, Just Jade, they're all the same colours. They're not refillable, unfortunately, and there's no replacement nibs, but at the price point of £8.50 for the combo, so £4.25 each, they're competitively priced, so that's not too bad. As I said, press very lightly when you use them. I think that's about it. So yeah, I'm now going to show you a few little other tips that you can use them for, or a few little demos that you can use them that are very handy to know. So first off, we do a range of rhinestones. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any of the white or clear rhinestones, but I've got these champagne ones. So Stampin' Blends, or any alcohol pens really, are excellent for colouring them in and recolouring them. Obviously these have got a little bit of a pinky tone to start with, so I'll go for a dark colour. I'll use one of those. So if you imagine these were clear, not that it matters, you can just colour over them, and then you can just go straight right onto your back and paper. And obviously you can make your rhinestones and other embellishments, pearls. You can make them match all your projects. I don't know if you can see that. Give it a little bit of drying time as well. Just changed it to a greeny colour, just jade. So, but that's why if I've just got one of them off my finger. So yeah, always buy the clear embellishments or white embellishments, like our white pearls, basic pearls, or our basic rhinestones, and you can colour them in and make them any colour that you like. So that's quite handy if you don't want to buy loads of different colours. Just pop them back in there, otherwise they're going to get stuck to everything. And also I'll just show you these. These are our beautiful, oh I should have made, don't think I've got the name of these. No, that says Acorn. Anyway, these are in the mini catalogue, mini holiday catalogue, and I think they would make superb berries. Now I haven't got a proper red out, so we're going to use the Poppy Parade. It might be a little bit tricky. I don't know if you can see this. I'm hoping you can, yeah. So just colour them in. So if you've got some holly, don't need to worry about the berries, just colour these in. And you've got a fantastic triple set of berries. And obviously they will pop out a little bit more because they're very pretty in 3D. So it may take a little while to dry, but fully dry, but I think you can get them. And you've got those, so you can make little berries. So that's a really handy technique for that. Another little hack I've got for you is, this is just, you know, a very small one, but with our dimensionals, sometimes that you can't see them. You can't see how many's left on a pack, and when you put them on a project, you can't see them. I'm not going to be, yeah, I'll show you in a minute. So what I do is I just draw some lines on your dimensionals. I'll get some more just to show you. I'll do it on this big one. Just draw your lines in. You can use thick or thin. Maybe a dark pen would work better. Just draw a load of lines over the back. Not to be too fussy. So now when you come to lift them off, obviously that's a new pack. Pop them. It just helps you see better the backing sheet. That's obviously white and clear, and the lines. And yeah, Daisy sounds like she's been smoking a lot, doesn't she? Bless her. She's got a bad cough. I don't know if you can hear her. Oh, Daisy. Sorry about that. So, and then you can see when you come to take them off, you'll be able to see them a lot easier. I won't take them off because I've got nowhere to stick them. So there's that. And last little hack to show you. I'll stick them on here, I think. I'm going to use that. So I've just cut some die cut shaped letters with the well written dies that I've got. There's a whole load of, I'll just show you those quickly. And yeah, sorry, Daisy's put me off. She's finished now. Go and get a drink, Daisy. So these are all different words basically. Thanks, happy, and makes up loads of different, and there's a stamp set to go with it. They're very, very handy, but that's just to show you where they've come from. And I've already backed this onto some adhesive sheets rather than using glue because it makes it a lot easier. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to create this effect really, basically, using them. So just got some Whisper White cardstock. You want to try and get rid of all these little burry bits if you can. That's just when you cut the dies. Just pop that down on a piece of Whisper White. This is Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to use the dark Misty Moonlight. You probably want to work with a dark colour, but I'm sure it would work with light colours as well, so give it a go. And to be fair, you could just put the white, you could just die cut and stick that to a piece of blue or the Misty Moonlight cardstock and then cut round. But I think you would have to be quite careful with your fussy cutting, whereas this kind of gives you the line already. When I do it, hopefully I'll show you. It kind of gives you a cutting line where to cut. Depends how good you are at your fussy cutting, I guess. Hope you see what I mean. But anyway, what you do is you go round, try not to dislodge the shape, although it should be nice and stuck down now. And you're just going to go round. Trying to, yeah, that's why you need to get rid of those burry bits really. So use the bullet end, not the brush end probably. You could try the brush end, but I think it'd be a little bit too thick. So basically you want it to be as even as possible. You can see it's actually colouring in the die cut as well, but that's not an issue. It's just making it a little bit darker. See, I've gone a little bit thick there, but that will still help me when I come to cut it out. So yeah, just keep going around as smoothly as possible with your lines. And that does bleed a little bit, so we don't have to worry about that because we're going to cut the excess off in a minute. So yeah, sticking the white down onto the colour cardstock would definitely be quicker than doing this, but this just creates a nice like silhouette, I guess, with you. Well, I think it'd be fun to try different colours. So now I'm just going to quickly fussy cut all the way around that. Ideally you would let it dry for a couple of minutes, but obviously I don't have that time on camera, so I'm kind of just cutting just before the edges really. Should have cut one out earlier, then I wouldn't have had to sit and do all this when you watch me, but it won't take long. I will cut it out just to show you. Obviously if we get any little bit of white bits, we can just go in afterwards and touch them up and colour them in. Oh, that was a bit close. But I think you could create some different, yeah, you could create different colour silhouettes around these if you wanted to. Maybe some nice rainbow colours, I don't know. I will have to have a little play with it, I think, at some stage. Nearly there. I'm doing this very quickly, so I am going to have some little white bits showing. But yeah, again with your fussy cutting, you just want to get those edges as round as possible by moving your scissors. Sorry, not moving your scissors, moving your paper. your cardstock. As I say, and any little white pits, there's very, very tiny little bit of white edges. We're just going to go back and colour them in. Bear in mind, it's now going to make it a little bit wet again. Not too bad, not worth worrying about really. And then we can get a punch. I'm just trying to give that a little bit of drying time, actually, that's what I'm trying to do. Another good little tip you can use your blends for. So they're going around with your ink, with daubers, you can just, more of a subtle effect. Just go around, be very careful, don't with your nib still, press too hard. You don't want to misshape that. There we go. Also another very clever thing, but I wouldn't overdo this unless you don't mind replacing them your pens a lot. But you can do a splatter technique. Just on the edge of the lid. I hope you can see that. Yeah, you can see it on there. I've got more on the paper than I probably have on the project, but it just gives a nice little effect. And then we're going to get our white die lettering or die cut. Yet again, I've done adhesive sheet on this because it's so much easier and much messy than glue. Although our fine tip glue pen would work, but this is just no mess whatsoever. Just taking a little bit of time, lining your letters up on top of the other die cut if you can. Just taking that a little bit of time. There we go. Let's make sure that sticks down. I mean, that really makes the white lettering pop. Then we can pop it on here using our mini dimensionals. If I'd used a different colour, you would have seen the stripes a lot easier because I've used the same colour on the same project. It doesn't stick out quite so much, but yeah, you can't probably see it, but it definitely helps with this, knowing how many you've got left on your sheet. So yeah, if I pop that on, so you can see I've taken that one off. It just helps to see which ones you've taken off and which ones you haven't. So if you used a black, I don't actually have the black Stampin' Blend. I would, if I had it, I would have used that. But there you go, you can see they've got them all off now. And we can just mount that on there. Not that I would probably just mount that on a tag, but I'm just showing you that would be in my card basically, with birthday underneath stamped. But there we go, voila. And I think that's it. I think, no it's not. Ooh, nearly. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of no line colouring. That's what I was going to show you. Might as well get your money's worth today. So here we go. I just need a little bit of cardstock. Right, so black memento ink. I'm just going to show you, no, not black memento. Well, actually, I could show you black memento, show you how. I didn't get stains on. But yeah, basically just to show you that. I'll show you what I mean. So that's our tuxedo black. Same would work, as I say, with all our other dye inks. I'm going to show you another little technique in a moment. So I'll just clean that up ready. There we go. So just to show you, that shouldn't take long to dry, the black, but preferably give it a couple of minutes to dry. Just going to show you in Dark Mango Melody that it won't smudge, move the black, anything like that. But if you use StazOn or any other alcohol based ink, it possibly would. It very much likely would, because alcohol and alcohol do not mix. Not in the ink world anyway. Let's go a little bit like onto there, and then I'll just show you with the colour lifter how you can pull some of that off again. So sometimes it goes a bit purpley, but it's not today, so that's good. I think it's usually when it's just on plain cardstock. So I don't know if you can see it. It'll take a minute or two to work, but your colour lifter's doing its job. It's lifting some of that colour out. But hopefully you can see it hasn't made the ink bleed or the black ink. It says that. No, with no line colouring, I'm going to use So Saffron. This may be too light, I'm not sure, but I'm just going to show you a portion, small portion. Straight in, do our sunflower. Clean that up later. I'm just going to show you the effect you can get. This is rather than inking in a darker colour, this is what I'm trying to show you. How you can basically make it look like you haven't got an outline. This is probably maybe a little bit dark. I could have done a bit of Stampin' Up. I would use more. Excuse me, there's my door. Hi there, sorry about that. Right, so I'm just going back to colouring it in. I'm just blending it. I like to leave a little bit of white at the tips. I'm just going to ignore that one, otherwise they will bleed together. So yeah, just leave a little bit of a gap in between. I'm doing this very, very quickly. If I was doing a project, I would take way more time. There you go, but hopefully you can see, if I come back to this one, it probably needs a little bit more drying time if I'm honest, but hopefully you can see, you kind of get an effect where you don't see the lines so much, so it can look more like a watercolouring. So, but that's basically it. So I think that's it for today. So I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll see you next week. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.